coming into Taiwan, my nose has been gang raped by cotton swab. Yeah, my nostrils has no expectations for anything anymore. It has no goals. It has not hopeful, looking forward into 2022. It's just gone. It's gone. It's got depression now. Hi, welcome back to Sugar Honey Bubble Tea, a podcast aimed to amplify Asian women voices through critical thinking and meaningful conversations. I am your host with the most, Ange, and I'm coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan, once again.
Hello, everyone. I am Toby. And before we start today's episode, please go follow us on Instagram at sugahoneybbt. It's at sugahoneybbt. And we post a lot of podcast episode related segments every week. So make sure you go check us out there.
Yes, and we just have to keep doing this because leave us a 5-star review on Apple. It helps us a lot by pushing up the ranking wherever you are in the world, really. And are you yawning?
Sorry. We have a time difference and I have a 9-to-5 job.
Just in the middle of this podcast.
It's a disease.
Anyway, so yes, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And if you like to see how Toby yawns, please go follow us on YouTube. We're on YouTube as well under Sugar Honey Bubble Tea Podcast. You can watch Toby.
Yes.
Be a lazy ass while recording.
If you so wish to do so, you can also sponsor us by donating to our PayPal or subscribe to our Patreon, which is a monthly based subscription. And it really helps us as independent content creator because I'm so tired. Yes. Like I just need some money. I haven't slept. Emotional blackmailing once again.
Yes, and with Patreon, when you subscribe, you also get to join in on our monthly Convo Club where we talk about anything ranging from books to articles to social issues, anything we want to talk about because it's our podcast, not yours. So yeah, and you also get some goodies and some bonus content. So yeah. Please subscribe to us on Patreon.
Okay.
So, let's start.
So how have you been?
Okay. I think I left Vancouver at a pretty good time. I feel like everyone is pretty depressed over there.
Yeah.
So
honestly, just me and Uncle Marion, like...
Did Omarion did he say something? You were telling me that how everyone thought he was he had something to do with Omicron.
Yeah, it was bizarre. Like an internet joke of like how Omarion is ruining Christmas for everyone. So everyone just like stop ruining Christmas. And honestly, I have never heard of Omarion prior to this. And
have you not heard of Icebox?
No, not prior to this. I heard it after the Omarion or Omicron.
Yeah.
And then he basically
making a comeback.
Yeah, posted a reel and was like, hey guys, I'm Omarion. I'm not a virus and I'm not a variant. If you come across me on the street, you don't have to isolate. So yeah.
Not affiliated.
Yeah, Uncle Omarion is back.
Oh, I saw, after you told me that, I went on to Spotify and he released a new song. And I'm like, capitalism.
Oh my God. Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah, capitalize on anything you can, honestly. Everything is profitable.
In the middle
but I think
of
the song is like 2021. I just don't know at what time. But anyways, yeah, I saw that he released a new song. And I'm like, that's how you have to become famous now. You just have to be affiliated with like a a viral virus.
A viral virus.
Viral virus. Like, I hope they name the next variant Sugar Honey Bubble Tea or something.
After us.
Like-
Or we'll change our name to the variant.
Sugar Honey Delta.
Delta Omicron.
Something.
Yeah.
Something. That's how we go viral. We gotta be a disease. We gotta be a virus. Yeah, but I feel like there were a lot of you know how in the new year and you have these expectations of yourself, you're like, in 2022 I'm gonna be this kind of person. I'm gonna be like, you know, you set these goals for yourself and you think you're gonna achieve them, and you have, I mean, goals are basically expectations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, 11 days in, I'm like, who am I kidding? Who are we all kidding? Like, I feel like globally, especially, I don't know, North America, I guess, people are not very looking forward to 22 because last year, people were like, yeah, I feel like the restrictions are kind of like opening up a bit and you can do things, hot girl summer, whatever. And so you have more like hope.
Yeah, there was like an
towards the next year.
optimism, I feel like, last year.
Yeah, but 22 is like, there's no hope.
No.
We have no hope. Like, this virus is just going to be here forever, and it's getting worse, and there are new variants, and everything is a joke now. Nothing is real. So what are the point? Like, what's the point of goals? That's kind of how I feel.
What is the point? It can kind of makes you like, especially it made me kind of feel like, what's the point of anything? Like, it just felt like feels kind of stagnant. And like the year used to be like a mark, like a fresh start, but it's hard when you're carrying the same strain of virus for 2 years. I'm like, what is fresh about this start? Like, what's the whole point of New Year, New Me? You know?
Yeah, especially everyone around us is getting Omarion. No, really. No.
That's true. Okay.
That's me. It got to me. It's got to me. No, people in Taiwan are scared shitless. So that was a joke. I just want to be clear. I choked on water.
The CDC will going to get you like immediately after this. Immediately.
Yeah. I have to, honestly, they're so scared of anyone with the virus. Coming into Taiwan, my nose has been gang raped by cotton swab. No, I'm not even kidding. I think the total, I'll have to swab like 5 times.
Wow.
Or more. I have no idea.
That's intense in the duration of like 2 weeks.
Yeah, like my nostrils have lost all sense of emotions. Sensory, it's gone. It's a lost cause at this point.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my nostrils has no expectations for anything anymore. It has no goals. It has not hopeful, looking forward into 2022. It's just gone. It's gone. It's got depression now.
I can't.
I have depressed nostrils. It's a real symptom. Anyways, yeah. Well, we wanted to talk about expectations this episode. Because when you have expectations, you have disappointment. And that's what 22 is looking more so like. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. We're only 11 days in. I want to be hopeful, but so far it's a bit disappointing. So let's talk about that. To start off, why do you think we have expectations?
Well, obviously, the potential. Like what everyone is really good at and I'm really good at is to see things for what they could be rather than what they are. Like even knowing that it is what it is, but also can't help to expect the potential to be more like, oh, it's a new year. It has the potential to be anything. Like I can be anyone and this, So I think it's the same of like when it comes to like workplace, family, and like relationship, you know, like especially romantic
Yeah.
relationship, right?
Traditional or non-traditional
Yeah,
romantic
like any sort of
relationships.
entanglements, romantic
Yeah.
entanglements.
Like whether it's like being in a stable exclusive relationship or being in a lot of people were in these like friends with benefit situations during the panini because you don't know if you want to settle because like is this do I love him or is this just COVID? Like like is it do I love him or is this desperation?
Just
A
loneliness.
cry for help.
Just loneliness.
Yeah, and I think so. A lot of non-traditional romantic relationships, more so than ever, and it's just the way that society is moving towards. Anyways, like I think monogamy isn't really.
It's a
isn't really
lost
trendy.
art. It's a lost art that few can practice.
Like when I'm 80s and I'm telling my grandson, like, oh, I used to just only love one person and marry one person. They're like, let's take you to bed, grandma. Like, you know that meme?
Oh my God.
Like, what if it's just lost?
It's gonna be like that, I bet you.
I think so. I think relationships are going into different. There's going to be so many different forms of relationship and like romantic situations that it's not going to be like what it is now. I mean, what it is now isn't even what it was like 20 years ago. Or 30 years ago.
True.
So,
Actually, it just keeps evolving.
evolution.
Yeah, and like I think.
Sorry, go on. Saying what you were before I cut you off. What were you saying?
I think especially like saying that as a person who dabbles in non-traditional romantic situation entanglements,
That was really long. That was so long.
there is a lot of expectations, I think, coming from the social norms or the societal standards of like what should happen in relationship and like what are the structural norms of relationship, especially even saying that there are a lot of like non-traditional relationships. If you like look on social media, like TikTok, there's like so many trends of like the whole let that man go thing, like if he doesn't do
red
this
flag.
he won't love you. If he wanted to, he would, sis. Like
He should have known.
yeah,
that whole
like
stuff. Yeah.
that just makes the whole expectation thing even harder to control, because now I no longer have to deal with expectations from myself, also from the society of how I should deal with my relationship. So
Right, because sometimes it's like you know what is right for yourself, and the other person, but when you tell other people about it, and they're like, "What? How dare they treat you like this?"
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Really? I thought that was I feel fine about it, but now that you mentioned it, I'm pissed off."
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And it start making you question yourself about your decisions. Whether it's like, I don't know, like whether it's like expectations have shifted or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think we have expectations because it's instincts. It's like human nature.
Right.
Like we want to be hopeful. Like everyone wants to look towards a brighter future just because that's what we're always told. Like, oh, the next one would be better. The next guy would be better. The next job would be better. Like it's always like the next thing will be better. We're always going to strive for better. I mean, because what else is there? You know, if we're not striving for better, then I would just end it. Like I would just end myself here if there's nothing else to look forward to.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So in some way, expectation is really just optimism, like the potential of the unknown, really.
Yeah. But do you, I believe that expectation is a hindrance to freedom.
That's true, because you live in a society and I live in a prison of my mind.
A lot of times the prison of your mind is just
Expectations.
the whole world. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like my mind kind of like, I have a lot of expectations as a person, and I think that sometimes I just kind of go like, because I'm also like quite realistic or pessimistic. So I'll just think like, oh, you know, like that person will never be able to fulfill my expectations anyway. So I'm just not even gonna try. And just like, rather than seeing the situation for what it is or giving it a chance or be open to experience what it actually is, in my mind, I've already just say no to the whole thing, even though I'm still actively in it. So sometimes that's how I feel like expectations is just like hindering for me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think expectation brings a lot of anxiety. When you are looking forward to something, there's also that fear that there's going to be disappointment, and that brings anxiety.
Yeah.
It's just like a full circle of fresh hell, guys. Because like, and then when you have expectations, sometimes you feel like, I think the human mind is very interesting. Like the human mind finds the need to justify everything.
Right.
And to explain, to understand everything, and in order to feel safe. So when I have an expectation and I don't voice my expectation, then I'm not really justifying it, so I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
It's like I expect my boyfriend to pick me up after work. When they don't, then I feel like, oh, they don't love me. And I don't feel safe. But then I've never said that I wanted this from the other person. It's all in my mind. It's my personal mind prison where I'm like, he should have known that he needs to do this. And it's just all just anxiety.
Yeah. I feel like that's always tend to the narrative for me as well. Like, my expectations of like, if you're not doing this, then I view it as a rejection to my whole personal existence. But it's like, so much of it is like me thinking of myself. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the times it's like, okay, I forget that the other person also has like a full-on life too. And that they might be dealing with stuff that I don't know, and I didn't voice it, so they never get the chance to like voice how they view the whole expectation. So sometimes that can happen, like the whole thing that you were saying, you know.
Do you think expectations hinder or benefit relationships?
At this moment in my life, it is more so hindering for me because, just as I was saying, I get very carried away with my expectations. And like, I think in my mind too, I will have this like sick needs of trying to force it to go with my expectations. It's honestly a disease. And, but sometimes I get disappointment because the situation might not, like, it will just not follow through. It's not what I'm expecting. And immediately I will just feel discouraged. But then I will look at it like maybe after like a day or two, and I'll think about it again. And I'm like, you know what? Actually, it's not like a horrible situation. It's just that it's so far off from my expectations that I feel a bit let down. And, you know, so yes, it is overall just hindering.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a tough question. What is that compared to gaslighting yourself? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I like to understand, because I do that to myself too.
But
I'm like, it's not that bad. And I'm like, am I gaslighting myself? Shit.
But like, I think for me, it's not necessarily like, it's not what happens is not bad. I'm like thinking, okay, I felt really shit. Like I felt really insecure, like for example, from this situation. And maybe like 2 of the following days when I'm reflecting on it, and I'll think about like, why is it? Is it because I felt bad about what happened? Or is it because I only felt bad because I had expectations and they weren't met?
Oh, I see.
I don't know if that makes sense, or am I just once again gaslighting myself? Now I'm questioning
I see what
my
you
whole
mean.
existence.
It's like, what is making you feel bad? Is it expectation, or is it like you actually don't think this is a good thing? Like,
Yes, yeah.
yeah. If it's expectation, then maybe the solution is simple. You just have to let go of your expectations, which, I mean, it's not simple. Like, letting go of your expectation, it could be a really hard thing too. But if it's not about expectation, then it's really like facing the reality that whatever this person did doesn't make you feel good, and you have to deal with the trauma of it, or dealing with like finding a solution to either, I don't know, like walk away or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because it's no longer about yourself and your expectations.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think for you expectations benefit more or hinder your relationships?
I'm like I'm never black and white. I think I can find positive and I can find pros in most things and also cons. But I think if expectations are aligned in a relationship, it could be very encouraging, like holding each other accountable for growth or holding each other accountable for something. But I think at the same time, it needs to be voiced. Like, it needs to be clarified. I don't think like expectations on your own, like if expectation is one-sided or not aligned or not spoken, it's just a one-woman show or a one-man show.
Yeah.
It's like a hindrance of me sitting here stressing myself out in a pool of anxiety, struggling for something I expect to happen, but I never said it.
That's literally what I do every day.
Yeah, because then it's just nobody knows what's going on in your mind, and you're just there. Well, I'm just sitting there thinking like he should have known, like he doesn't love me because he doesn't do this for me or whatnot. But I think the problem really is this, as the society is so fearful of clarification and confrontation. Like, we have, that episode we talked about, like being a good person.
Yeah.
It's like we all want to be a good person, and avoiding conflict is what a good person do. You know, like a good person doesn't get into conflicts.
Yeah.
It's almost like that. And so because we're so afraid to get into conflict or ask for clarification, or we just kind of make assumptions and expectations and believe that we're right about these assumptions and expectations. And then we just like brew in our mind and like keep thinking about it, and we like defend our expectations and assumptions and make someone else wrong.
Yeah.
When in the first place, maybe there wasn't even anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's all just a one-woman show.
Yeah. My favorite way of like the metaphor is when my therapist told me. So basically I have all these expectations, but I just never voice it out. And like what you said, it gives me a lot of anxiety because I'm like, I don't know. Like, does it mean like, it's just a lot of guessing. So my therapist is like, you with your expectation, but never saying it, is like you going to the casino expecting to win money, but doesn't gamble. Like, you just go there. Yeah. You don't gamble, but you just go there and you're like, I'm expecting money now. Like, I'm expecting to get something out of it. So
that's a really good metaphor.
Yeah, same vibe, my whole vibe now.
Oh, I see. You're one of those like Asian aunties in casino that stand like behind people at a baccarat table.
Yeah.
And just shouts a number with them. Monkey, and they're like, never put a bet down.
Yeah, exactly. Just doesn't bet, doesn't gamble.
Doesn't bet, but like always there every Wednesday. You're Asian auntie at the baccarat table.
You know it. I'm there. So yeah, I just feel like I guess for me right now, I'm like the kind of expectations I want to have is just to communicate my expectation. Like I like expecting myself to communicate it and expecting others to communicate his or her expectation. So then you can have a conversation about it. And
yeah, it's like boundaries. Like I expect other people to set their own boundaries around me. Mm-hmm. So when I'm crossing their boundaries, I expect them to let me know.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I should be a shitty person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, when you're just talking about self-expectations, what about them? Like, do you think they're healthy? Like, what are they a hindrance?
I mean, they are, like, self-expectations, I feel like are good, or I shouldn't say that. I think it's depending on how you use them. They could be beneficial. And I think it depends on your relationship with expectations. Like, I set a lot of expectations for myself, and they're very like, they're not just like very ambiguous stuff. Like I would be like, oh, I want to go to the gym 5 times a week, and I'm gonna do all of that. And I think rather than, like, I used to use it as a rule that I'm like, I must follow my expectations. I must go to the gym 5 times a week, or else I'm a failure. I'm a piece of shit. But
right.
but after the pandemic,
that's what I do.
but now I'm more so using it as a structure of how I go on about my life, right? Like rather than being like, okay, I'm gonna do it 5 times a week, I'm more so like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym this week, but if I don't feel good, I'm not gonna do it. Like, it's just a structure I set for myself of things I want to accomplish, or I'm expecting myself to do throughout the week. But if I don't feel good about it, and I'm not gonna do it that week, and it's fine, and I'm not gonna like form any unhealthy thoughts around how I didn't go to the gym.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And I think I'm aligned, but also more so like, it's more about your mindset when you have self-expectations. I think self-expectations are good. It's like setting goals, right? But then, well, there are 2 things. First is like, I don't know if I believe in goals anymore in the sense that I used to.
Right.
I feel like for the new year, it's less goal setting, but more like setting like skills. Like, I'm going to have the skill to do something instead of, and more like, oh, I'm going to teach myself how to invest in stocks. But instead of like, I'm going to invest like $5,000 in stock and have the return of this much and this much. Like, I don't know if that works for me as much. I don't know. Maybe it works for other people, but I think it's like having a skill, learning a skill as a goal instead of having a goal is more tangible.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is like, I don't know, having expectation, sometimes it's good, but it's only good if you keep those expectations to yourself. Like, when you have self-expectations, sometimes you have the same expectations for other people. So you judge them based on your expectations and based on your values or your set of morals or whatnot. And that is why, I don't know, like, I feel like you should judge other people by their set of values and not your set of values. And I don't know. And I think that's also why it's so hard for a lot of us to be ourselves around others, because there's this fear. Like, we don't think we are good enough because we judge other people as well. And when we think when we do that, we think everyone else is judging us too and victimizing us or abusing or blaming us, because we do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
So even before other people have a chance to reject us as who we are, we have already rejected ourselves. Because we feel like...
That's true.
Yeah, you know how when you were talking about that whole like, oh, you have this expectation of someone, and then you also have the same expectation that this person won't do it.
Yeah.
Is because, to me, it's almost like I am rejecting myself even before they reject me, because they won't do it because I don't think I'm worthy for them to do this.
Yeah, exactly. I've abandoned myself already.
Before someone else abandons you.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We never really give other people the chance to voice anything because we never really voiced it
yeah, like we never voice it ourselves. So it's like,
Yeah.
how am I? Yeah. How would they know? How will I know? Is this a therapy session for me? Am I the patient?
I just take my mask off and I'm actually your therapist.
Kelsey, what are you doing here? Jeez.
Kelsey, what are you doing on this podcast? Do you think
No.
she'll come on this podcast?
I
Invite
know.
our therapist to the podcast.
And shit on me.
Does she know that you have a podcast?
Yeah, she does.
Do you think she listens to it?
I'm not sure, but hi, if you're listening to it. Yes. I will not
Will she
abandon
be
myself.
happy?
Yeah, I think so.
That's nice. Anyways, yeah, I think that's it for today. I expect all of you to listen to this episode.
And I'm voicing it out right now. So
And I expect all of you to follow us on Instagram and leave us a 5-star review on Apple. And I also expect all of you to love us and subscribe to us on Patreon.
yes, please.
Yeah.
And I
expect you to plug us right now.
Yes. And I expect you to go on social media immediately. On Instagram at sugahoneybbt. It's at SUGAHONEYBBT. And you can also find us separately on Instagram at bbtmommy and at sensitive bow.
Yes, and when you're listening to this episode, you can take a screenshot, post it on social media, tag us. We love to see it. And I expect you guys to write something nice about us. After entire episodes of having no expectations, we're having expectations.
Yeah. New year, same toxicity.
New year, new expectations. Anyways, I also expect myself to love all of you. So I love you all. And this is it for me.
I'm trying to figure out what's going. It seems like you're having a whole personal
I'm having a crisis. It's a one-woman show.
Yeah. But please go and subscribe to us. And
That was my nostril talking. It's depression talk.
Oh man.
From my nostril. It's post-traumatic nostrils.
Yeah.
PTSD.
Please
Anyways,
just go.
okay.
Just
bye.
Just go on Instagram. Bye.